follow anybody in her family.
No shot. I don't believe it. I see this type of stuff go on all the time behind the scenes with streamers of who's following who and all this shit. I watched this stream on Floyd a million times. Bullshit. Oh, I had conservatives send me information about, just say 3-minute clips looks bad, but we need more context. You have to say it looks bad over and over. Oh, sure. I mean, it does look bad. I've said that. It looks bad. Yeah. I want to rewatch this whole video now. Now I'm seeing things that I wasn't noticing before, okay?
You're not taking the context.
Yeah, what is that thread of, I should have watched this video more closely when it first came out. I'm not even noticing. There's like 8-second cuts here too. What's going on here? How many cuts are in this video? I've never actually even paid attention to that before. So like here, that was a massive cut. 12:36:05. How much time did we just cut out? I said he's gonna start basically leaking shit. So we're gonna see, that's why I said the shit is gonna get wild. Destiny, the YouTube comments in your latest video are cooking you for Crowder's Take. Yeah, I mean, like, everything I said is 100% correct. Like, you can't judge a relationship status by a single fight, unless there's like some crazy shit going on. And there was nothing crazy in that video, right? This could be a fight of an 8-year-old couple that there's any number of factors that could have gone into this fight beforehand. There's any number of factors that could make Steven Crowder look horrible or even worse than he does. And there are a number of factors like, oh, fuck,
this guy self-deletes in 2 years, or I tier 5 sub.
It's just funny that like everybody goes through this phase where like we all saw it happen with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing, and everybody's like, oh, maybe we should wait till all the information's out. And then we see it with Amaranth, and people are like, well, now we forgot about the Amber Heard stuff, and then we see it with like this shit, and now people are like, oh, it must be like, yo. There's literally why are you judging the relationship status as a condemnation of Crowder himself? It's so easy to just wait for more information. You understand that, right? You literally there is absolutely nothing at risk to just waiting for a little bit more information. You don't need to make a judgment right now. You don't need to have a strong opinion right now. You don't need to try to ascertain there's literally no upside to it whatsoever. There's no reason for it. You just wait, find some more information that comes out. I went over that article again yesterday, by the way. This Substack is hella sus. It is hella sus. I almost wonder if it's a hit piece. What about the menacing watch it? That was pretty over the line though. Seemed like a threat? You don't know. You have no idea. Maybe they'd set a boundary up before where like they didn't like certain words being thrown around and she was crossing the boundary. You have no idea. You literally just have no idea. You really have no idea. You don't know. And there's literally no reason to speculate early on. Like, why not just wait? Didn't the Crowder video literally say they're going to not post more about it, keep the legal case as private as they can? If they did say that, then it's even more sus. How many times in this article are they saying things like, in audio files and text messages I received, which ones? Why don't you post any? I also reviewed text messages, extensive audio files, and personal videos. Where? Why don't you post any? The night before she gave birth, they exchanged a series of text messages about separating. Hillary, here's one text message from her. Where are the rest? What's the context? In the review of audio, video, and text messages, Steven Crowder repeatedly admits that he's a volcanic temper. Where is the audio, video, text messages? Where are they? Why not post any of it? Why is so much of this article about the Daily Wire? Why is there a good chunk of this article dedicated to the Daily Wire? That's so weird. Why would this be here right now? This video up here, this video is 2 years old. Why are we seeing it now? Why does so much of this article include the Daily Wire? Why is the biggest quote that this article contains from a letter from the family, and then the second biggest one from a video that Steven Crowder's already posted? Why is it that at the end of this video, before Steven Crowder says the most incriminating thing that he could have said?
The dogs, put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication?
As the Crowders head inside, Steven gets angrier and angrier by his own admission. His own admission? Where? Why isn't this linked? Is it in a court document? Is it public access? Is there a video backing it up? I will f you up at his pregnant wife. If this is...
You take Betty.
Why is there no video or audio of this? At all? There's not audio outside we can hear a little bit? This writer is a big left Twitter guy. He used to follow him for New Year's stuff, and then he started getting super brain in. Yeah, I don't know. This article is Destiny goes full conspiracy mode. Okay, yeah, they can't win. Never mind. So what I was gonna say, Steven Crowder is a conservative, therefore he was abusing his wife. Boom, there you go. I figured all that out in 3 minutes. Like, if you don't have like a modicum of incredulity, what am I thinking of? Hold on. Incredulity. Just a little bit. It's just really weird. Also, Substack. Why do you link every comment? There must be a way to auto collapse this shit. It lags the page up like crazy. Dustin, yes or no question. Do you think she seems to be legitimately scared of escalation in the situation they're in a way that Melina wouldn't have if you said, I will f you up in a heated argument? He doesn't say, I will f you up in this video, though. So I don't know what you're talking about.
You give up so easily?
I don't give up, Steven.
You give up so easily? I just said the only way out of this is
So, like, I don't know. Like, it depends. Okay, this is a little bit cringe. But I think I actually have a trigger. I found this out in a fight that me and Melina had like 2 years ago. I have a trigger for women grabbing me. It absolutely triggers the out of me, and it puts me in a really weird space. There was a fight where me and Melina had where I didn't want to talk to her. I was getting tired or whatever. I didn't want to have the conversation. We were screaming at each other, whatever. And then she goes to grab me, and I almost like lose my mind. It's like the worst feeling in the world. Probably because it triggers my old and I guess my old like domestic abuse shit. If you would see a clip of that, what you would probably think is, wow, Melina probably hits this guy a lot, or Melina's really physically abusive, because as soon as she puts her hands on him, his whole demeanor changes. But like, that you don't know that from that one fight, because these are from like prior experiences I have, right? You have no idea like what. That's what I'm just saying. It's so stupid. And I understand, like a lot of you guys like maybe 20 something, or you've never had like more than 1 or 2 relationships before, or you've never been in fights before. You can't ascertain the status of an entire relationship on a 3.5 minute fight video. It's just not fair. You can't. You don't know it. And it's so easy to just wait for more information to come out. All you have to do is just wait for more information. That's it. There's no reason to jump. There's no reason to jump to conclusions about it. You don't gain anything by trying to be first. There's no reason for it. I was allowed to listen to some audio but not publish it. I will make this even more clear in the piece. Here's the real question. Who gave you the audio? His response to being called abusive was, watch it, which absolutely seems like a control trigger response. Talking in the article about how he'd been trying to manage his temper and that this is the first blow in a while. It could easily be him trying to say, watch it. You know what that phrase does to me specifically? Yeah, sure. There are times when, I hate going into my own like personal fights, whatever. There are times when me and Melina fight sometimes, and fuck, I don't want to say it. There are certain words that sometimes she'll use because she knows it'll trigger me online, and then she'll say that word, and I'll be like, and then I'll be like, you retarded, why are you saying this, right? It'll like, because she knows how to trigger the fuck out of me, and I know how to trigger the fuck out of her. But like, I could totally see somebody. People are thinking that when Steven Crowder says like, watch it, I'm gonna fucking choke you out, bitch. Like that's what they're thinking in their head. But it could literally be that like, and again, it could also be that he is threatening her. Crowder could be threatening her. He could be like, watch it, or you know what happened last time. I'm gonna come upside that fucking head of yours. I'm gonna smack you so hard, your fucking pregnant twins are gonna get concussions, right? That could be the case. Or it could just be, yeah, like you said, maybe he's been in therapy for like abusive shit before, or he's been in therapy because his wife doesn't think he treats him well, and now he's saying like, you're an abuser, and that's like a trigger for him. Like, watch it. What do you mean I'm an abuser? I've been going to therapy for this. Why would you throw this word at me, right? Could be. You have no idea. You don't know. You don't know. You just don't know. You have no idea. Oh, but anyway, who made the... Here's what I want to know. Here's the real question. Nobody... Apparently journalists just don't care about this anymore. God, the age of Substack is such dog shit. Happened with the Twitter files too. Who made this available to Yasher and why? Has that ever been answered? Because that would also dramatically change how I view this. Because if it was the case that he's like, oh, last night Ben Shapiro came over and he dropped off some stuff for me, that changes things a lot, right? Or if the wife sent it and she was like, I want out, like, you know, you have no idea. You should read the YouTube comments to the latest video because it'll trigger it. No, I already know how it's gonna, because like for you guys, it's like puppies, animals, and like any kind of domestic situation, like always sends people into automatic shutdown brain mode. Like there's not even really any point for me to cover it, because that's where people's minds are always gonna go. Why is it your fans keep making this mistake? We've been through this so many times. No. It's not my fans, it's everybody. Like, as much as you guys will meme on it and everything, as soon as you see like a crying or afraid white woman, your brain's like shut down. And it's like, oh shit, it must be an abuser. It's like, it's gotta be like a super instinctual thing. But I mean, like, you see the same shit happen, like even in my circles, right? Where it's like, oh, woman making false allegations is the worst thing ever. And then Lav is on everybody's stream. It's like, oh, it's okay, right? Or it's like, oh, don't trust women just when they say hashtag believe all women. That's the dumbest thing ever. And then you see a 3-minute video of like a white woman like upset, and it's like, oh my God, abuse. And I was like, yeah, but it's just a natural. Do you think this will end Crowder's career? I have no idea. Crowder's under attack by like 50 million people right now. Candace Owens, did she just release a video saying like Steven Crowder is a monster or something? Am I wrong or what? Why do people get up in arms when Destiny says wait for the full story, but everyone doesn't understand when Asmongold says it? Asmongold's fan base is probably significantly more right-leaning than mine. So my fan base is ready to jump down Crowder's throat immediately just because it's Steven Crowder. X agrees with Destiny on Crowder. This Crowder says, well, I don't know why everyone's making ridiculous conclusions from leaked audio / video, Twitter Andes. Damn! I've taken poppers like 3 times. It was not that amazing for me, but trans person I take it with this fucking an orgasm heaven. It depends on the Coomer part. Cool. Well, we've got the X validation.
I think the part of the reason why he's saying this is because he's worried that if like some shit came out of him, that he would look like bad. Okay, that's why he's doing this. That's it.
God, he's such a fucking piece of shit fucking loser. Oh my
situations
God.
are different.
Wait.
Oh my God. So XQC probably gave the same take that I did, because my take is very reasonable, that you can't evaluate a person's relationship based on a 3-minute fight, right? Might be that Crowder's abusive. Steve Crowder looks abusive. He does. But his wife also might be really fucked up. But we don't know. We don't have the information, right? His reaction could be anywhere from like understandable but bad to he's a crazy piece of shit, but we don't know. So XQC basically gave, I think, that take. And now Hasan is like, I bet it's because XQC is a fucking abuser. And he's worried it's going to get leaked.
Oh, play it again?
I think the part of the reason why he's saying this is because he's worried that if like some shit came out of him, that he would look like bad. Okay, that's why.
What do you think about your? Yeah,
that's it.
You think that's a fair take from
your
boy
situations
there?
Are
if
different.
Hasan says XQC is an abuser, XQC is an abuser.
Wow, I like how you deflect with humor there. That's good because you don't. Okay, let's see what XQC's take was. I bet it was really smart. I bet he had a really good take here.
I'm supposed to not take the video at face value, but I thought we were gonna take this video at face value. So which one is it? Do we take things at a face value or not? I get it.
Because conservative.
This guy, we like him. We don't take it at face value. But this guy, we don't like him. We have to get face value. Oh shit. That is quite unlucky. Sorry, man. That's fantastic. I love this shit. It's so fun.
I haven't ever seen a man blaze Destiny so hard. Jesus Christ, bro.
Well, because nobody like Disney. Because Destiny tell you how it is. Because Destiny tells you how it is and understand relationship dynamics.
I do.
When you are a single dumb fuck who's never fucking seen the side of a woman, it is what it is.
You can't judge.
I do understand dynamics for relationships and everything. Yeah. Really good understanding.
Ghost.
Anything else? Okay. God. He just speaks truth, you know? It's crazy how people can make a story fit their particular issue. The Steven Crowder case shows how the design of suburbs can leave women especially vulnerable to partners' abuse. Oh, unironically? Actually? Yeah, a little bit. I think we should make, when the election season rolls around, we should make like the top 3 to 5 like issues. Having people that live around you that you can like talk to and be friends with and shit, I think probably does a lot of good things for mental health, right? Like even having like Farah living here and being able to DM someone like, hey, do you want to go out to get food or whatever? Like, or when I lived with Mr. Mooten before he abandoned us, or New Salsa, like being able to DM people like, hey, do you want to go out and like do something or like chill, or even just to go downstairs and just like see a friend or whatever. I actually think that is way more liberating. It's the feeling of it's the same feeling you get when you live in the suburbs and you become old enough to ride a bike. And then all of a sudden you can go and visit friends you never could before without having to walk like an hour or whatever, without having to ask mom or dad for a ride, in my opinion. And like, that's like, it's just like, it's a freeing feeling where you're like, oh shit, I can like go out and see people. And being like trapped in a house all day where you need a fucking car to do anything, like, I don't know. Zerka is live with Lav. No shot. What the fuck?
You're so scared.
Why is she on? That's not her. That's not Lav.
The fuck?
That's not Jewish.
My name.
Oh no, that's the dog she blew. It is her. What is happening? Why? What? What? As long as they don't talk about me, I don't care. All right. Candace Owens. Oof, Daily Wire is on full force attack. Also, I am being a little conspiracy brained, okay? Ready? Conspiracy brain. I think the Steven Crowder thing, I think it is a Daily Wire hit piece. I think it was somebody from them that sent that material to that Yar whatever person. I think it was. That's my conspiratorial mindset right now. I think that's what happened, but we'll see. Okay. Anyway, here we go.
Talk about Steven Crowder. A lot of you guys have probably seen his live stream this morning where he brings me up. So we're going to have to respond to that, obviously, because he makes some pretty heavy implications and insinuations in his video that are so patently false that it's shocking to me that a man with his following would be stupid enough to put this onto a platform. So let's first back this up in case you don't know.
Can somebody give me the history? Why does she fucking hate Steven Crowder? Because she hates him. Did you see the write of that article follow you today? Oh, awkward. She's an opportunist. It feels like it's personal. It feels like something happened where she.
You know who Steven Crowder is? It's totally plausible. He sort of lives on the internet. Steven Crowder is
like
somebody who has a show
job
called Louder with Crowder, who had something very terrible happen to him at the end of last year. The Daily Wire came to him with a $50 million term sheet. He was offered $50 million. I know, horrible, terrible. He was so upset by this that he then decided to do a video in which he calls out essentially all of the Daily Wire hosts, myself included, for accepting slave-like contracts. These were the very heavy implications of that video, that his followers needed to stop Big Con, talking about how we are all existing and we're kowtowing. And of course, we responded forcefully to this because it's simply not true. The idea that I'm somehow in bed with big tech or that I'm dishonest in what I do simply because we didn't accept, I guess, his counter offer to the $50 million contract is pointedly ridiculous. Now, why are we talking about him again? Well, in closing back in January, I essentially said that we were no longer going to talk about Steven Crowder, and I instead offered that people should pray for him because obviously, when a man does something like that, he is broken. You don't do something like that to your friends unless there is something going on in your personal life.
Oof. I see my theory is very true that the attacks from your own side have got to be so much worse. Like, if you're Steven Crowder and people like me are saying, like, oh, he's racist, he's sexist, he's blah, blah, blah. Like, who the fuck cares? Steven Crowder hates me. He knows I hate him. But hearing, like, Candace being like, this is a broken man. His spirit is void. His, like it's just got to be like, oof. It's just way more, like, conservative, you know?
Well, Steven Crowder announced this morning that he is going through a divorce, and I want to show you bits of that video. Take a listen.
Bro, oh, from his video, okay, never mind.
But needed to take a moment here to address some issues out there that are circulating. It's never fun. But, well, I guess let me be clear here. I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say on the outset, to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice.
I like how mad he is that one person can choose to get divorced. Like, I should be able to keep my wife locked up here forever. He's very fixated on that point. Jesus.
Okay, so in the open, you get it. Steven Crowder is a victim. Once again, he's always a martyr for his belief. He's always a victim. And this time, it's the proverbial boot on the neck. He's literally George Floyd. So the idea here is you need to feel really bad for Steven Crowder right away because he's got a boot on his neck. Let's see what else he said.
So if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, then you know the feeling well. Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
Steven has a lot going on. I guess is the best way to say it.
There's our
There's a lot
girl,
going on, and that
Candy.
should be clear because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on.
That's not racist anyway, right? Is it?
In their lives. I would like to implore my audience and everybody that isn't paying attention to this situation not to condemn him, but to pray for him. Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture. You know, Stephen purports to be a Christian. I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than that. You know, maybe if I feel in further defense, some things should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to understand certain circumstances.
That actually, now looking back on everything, that kind of is a threat. She is super threatening that there, right? I hate Crowder, and I think that he overplayed his Daily Wire hand like a fucking piece of shit. I guess it's all business or whatever, but she is threatening him there, right? If I feel like the public needs to know, why the fuck would the public need to know anything about his divorce? That is kind of weird.
Oh, my children have a right to privacy. Now,
what are you typing? Sorry, Crowder messages me sometimes because he's telling me, because I get paid like a lot from the Louder with Crowder mug club. There's a percentage that goes to me as long as I do PR for him. That's why I'm like excusing all the abuse and everything according to my subreddit. So, you know.
Some other issues have been, or I should say, inferences have been more pernicious behind the scenes with demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time that it could be used, knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So to those self-styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book. Now, if you find yourself, I don't want to get into details, so this is going to likely be the only time I have to address this or want to address this. If you're asking yourself, hey, did X person or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes.
So much that I want to say here. First and foremost, if you're a person that watches his show, how do you not see that he is so obviously acting and that he is a very bad actor? Do you feel bad for him when he says that? When he says, if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, well, if you are familiar with the idea of extortion, you should realize that that video that he just showed of me wasn't that. Nobody threatened him. Nobody made demands behind closed doors. His insinuation that I knew about his divorce before he decided to attack the Daily Wire is a pointed lie. Let me tell you what
Yeah, I'm curious what her explanation is, because now when I listen to it, now again seeing the divorce and everything that's come out and all the new information and everything, it kind of does feel like when she's, because I'm trying to think what could she possibly say right now, unless she might be talking about other contract negotiations. When she says there are things that the public needs to know, like it feels like you're just threatening somebody, right? Sorry, Jesus, so many things going on today.
Actually went on behind the scenes. Stephen Crowder on election night was our friend. He was on the backstage with all of us, laughing, having a great time. He even sent me a retrospectively very flirty message thereafter on Instagram about how nice I looked on election night, even though I didn't respond to it. Thereafter, obviously, he attacked the Daily Wire. He decided to record his friend, Jeremy Boring, and to release the recording out of context to make it seem like Jeremy Boring knows that he's employing all of us like we're slaves, right? This is what Stephen Crowder did. We had a right to respond forcefully to all of his claims. We all did that on our different platforms. And then I said to myself, just sitting there one day, why is he doing this? It's a very simple question and an obvious question that any person would ask. This is not normal behavior. It's very erratic to go from being friends with somebody, being with them on election night, laughing, having a great time, to suddenly wanting to ruin their entire company and launching Stop Big Con. It's bizarre behavior. I turned to my husband and I said, where's his wife in all of this? Isn't she so supposedly a Christian?
What?
I'm just thinking about the way that I talk about everything in my life with my husband. Every night I'm talking to him about what.
It's so funny listening like in on this, because like this line probably plays well, I guess, with conservatives, because they're like, yeah, your wife you would talk to about, but like it's so obviously like that's such a stupid bullshit thing. Like what?
What's going on at work? I thought to myself, where is Hillary Crowder in all of this? How did she not tell him not to do something this vicious and this disgusting? And then I said to my husband, I bet they're not even together. I logged on to Instagram and I found Hillary Crowder's Instagram account and I looked to see, and it turned out that she didn't follow Steven Crowder and that Steven Crowder didn't follow her. He didn't follow anybody in her family.
No shot. I don't believe it. I see this type of stuff go on all the time behind the scenes with streamers of who's following who and all this shit. I watched this on Floyd a million times. Bullshit. Did like, oh, well, after a night of him, an election night, I noticed that he was lacking guidance from his wife, so we decided to check in. Bullshit. I bet there was a ton of talk behind the scenes about them having trouble. I bet there was a ton of talk, and that's why they knew that people had like unfollowed and everything. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, guaranteed, guaranteed.
Family, and she wasn't following anybody in his family. That was my aha moment. Clearly, there was some sort of a separation. Now, this might sound like crazy CIA stuff, woman stuff. It's exactly what happened. I then spoke to Jeremy at the Daily Wire, and I said, do you think that him and his wife are potentially separated? And he said, no, 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 no. Obviously, it's his friend. He would have known whether or not they were separated, except he didn't. He actually had no idea if they were separated either. Finally, we decided in conclusion, Jeremy advised, that we just stay out of it, that this is actually not our business, but at least it actually felt good to learn that he was going through something privately because it assigned some reason for something that he did that was so horrific and so irrational to his friends. And finally, we said, okay, this is a broken man. This is what I was thinking. This is a broken man who is on some sort of a spiral. It is likely his divorce that led to this moment. He's acting erratic, he's acting panicked, and this at least gives us some sort of an excuse for why he behaved this way. That's it. That's the big scary story. I then went onto my platform and I said, pray for Steven Crowder, honestly, because that's what he needs. He needs a prayer. And apparently, nobody's answering those prayers right now because he's still acting erratic. He's now upping the ante and suggesting that I extorted him. I will not take that lightly, okay? I am not Hillary Crowder. I am not anybody in his family. I am not going to take somebody going onto his platform and alleging that I either harassed, threatened, or did anything that would put his children at risk. That is very serious stuff that he is saying. And so what I did this morning after this clip was sent to me is I contacted a defamation lawyer, and I am sending Steven Crowder a cease and desist. And I'm going to demand a full-throated retraction to the idea that Candace Owens threatened him or extorted him. And not that I simply did a little math. 1 + 1 = 2. A crazy man doing these sorts of things to his friends obviously means that something is going on personally. Honestly, this time, I'm not even going to suggest that anybody should pray for him. I am so deeply troubled by the idea.
Guys, we've gotten to the point to where we're withholding prayers, okay? Now you know it's serious. Gee, conservatives are a fucking trip, dude.
That he is trying to insert me into this narrative pertaining to his divorce. I'm frankly angry about this. So I'm going to hope that he does the right thing, okay? That he does another one of his live feeds on the exact same platform and via the exact same medium and offers me an apology and takes back every single word that he says. And, by the way, if you think that that's bad, here's how he decided to end this clip pertaining to his divorce.
Tell us.
It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children. And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works. Now, of course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides to every story, but one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own.
Oh, you know what? Oh man, my subreddit is gonna get triggered for me running defense for Steven Crowder. You know one thing that could be at play here? It's possible, or this could not be it at all. But like him saying that it's her choice on her own, at the very least, rather than it's like, because one way to read that is like, oh, he's like some crazy manipulative, evil piece of shit that's like doesn't want her to have agency or whatever. However, another reading of that could just be that like they're announcing a divorce, he knows it's gonna happen, there's nothing he can do to get away from it. Well, listen, I'm a Christian man. I would never get divorced. It was all her choice. I would never, ever, ever divorce my wife while we have kids, etc. Right? That it could be like his way of trying to save face publicly, maybe. Are they mad that you're defending Steven Crowder, or mad at how you're defending it? No, it's just because of Steven Crowder. That's the only reason people care. Who am I subreddit?
In that I picked wrong.
I picked wrong. Wow. How kind, how loving. You really must have loved this woman, Steven Crowder. Again, I don't know who's buying your act anymore. I certainly haven't bought it from the very beginning. It's very obvious to me exactly what you are. You come across to me as a very dishonest individual. It seems to me, Steven, that you really, for whatever reason, want to insert me into this narrative. Like, there is just something about me that you are hyper-focused on. And so I want to help you a bit. And really, I want to help your wife, because you essentially just used your platform. Millions of people have access to your platform. She doesn't have the same, to insult her. You picked the wrong woman, okay? So here's what I would like to do. I would like to invite Hillary Crowder onto my platform because she doesn't have one.
Oh, would she accept? If she invites her and she accepts, I'm raising my Bayesian, okay? I'm raising this to like 85% that article that was posted was a setup from the Daily Wire. If there's an episode, actually, maybe 90%. If there's an episode with Candace Owens and Crowder's wife, the whole thing was a setup, 100%. If the fact that she even says it is like bolstering my prior so much. Jesus.
And because her ex-husband apparently just used his to insult her, say that he picked the wrong woman, I find that to be really despicable. So Hillary Crowder, if you are watching, you are more than welcome to come on my show and to talk about what's actually going on. Because as I said, I don't trust a single word that comes out of Steven's mouth. Damn. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today. So you can go ahead and click the link in the description and subscribe right now.
Holy shit. This would be some next level, because Crowder basically, in a conspiratorial sense, Crowder conspiracy the Daily Wire, right? He registered that site beforehand. Oh my God. I might actually turn into a Nazi. Maybe I'll believe like the Jewish fucking cabal running everything. Like Crowder was like, I'm gonna take it to these Goldsteins. I'm gonna go hard and I'm gonna outmaneuver them. And then they were like, oh ho ho. Oy vey, sneaky, sneaky. Holy shit. This would be like 27-dimensional chess if they actually came back like this. And it was all like a fucking... But then also, to be fair for all of that, Crowder's a fucking idiot to stir this much shit with a company if he'd already been fucking divorced. How wild is that? I think the person who released the info to the writer was herself and her lawyer in order to gain public sympathy. But what does she need public sympathy for? I don't understand that, you know? It's funny how Destiny has no problem pushing the sneaking conspiracy theories, but LOL, but it's just me when Sneaker does it. Conspiracies happen, my dude. You understand that they happen. You just need evidence for them. You have to like point to things that like make it like, oh, is it possible? Is it not possible? It's still possible, by the way, that there is no conspiracy here and that just happened to be. But like, there's a lot of weird, like this video is 2 years old. That webpage was really strangely written. I don't know why it had so much information about Steven fighting with the Daily Wire. Like everything is like lining up. And Steven Crowder had just, in a conspiratorial sense, tried to snake and fuck over the Daily Wire, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Damn. If his wife goes on Candace Owens' show, oof. Also a Crowder fucking Daily Wire conspiracy of them trying to fuck each other over. It's not on the same level as every medical, governmental, corporate, and academic institution in the world coming together for a fucking COVID-19 hoax. You brain dead fucking retard. What is the percentage that you think your conspiracy is real? Like 20, 30%? My percentage right now, based on everything I've seen, is, well, before that Candace Owens videos, I would say it's about like 16% is what I'd put it at. After this Candace Owens video, we're bumping it up to like 30%, I think, right? But if she goes on Candace Owens' show, I'm thinking like 80%. That would just be unbelievable. It would be like 80, 90%. It would be unreal. That's not even content that the Daily Wire should have any part in. That's an unbelievable, like, or unless I've missed something, Most of the Daily Wire shows and reporting is generally like pretty news-based, pretty fact-based, pretty punditry. They don't do like a lot of drama digging. It's Ben Shapiro's platform. To have Steven Crowder's divorced ex-wife go on to a show on the Daily Wire, that's just so bizarre. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. No chance Yasher is working with the Daily Wire. Come on. The thing is, he doesn't have to be working the Daily Wire, right? They could just say, like, let's leak this to, like, leftist media. This is starting to get a little bit more on the conspiratorial side. But, like, if somebody really wanted me, I think I've actually had people do this to me before. Let me see if I can think of an example where a conservative has come to me with stuff to leak about another conservative. I'm trying to remember who this happened. I had a lot of people. I had some surprisingly big names message me after my Milo Yiannopoulos debate, and I've had multiple smaller conservative people, like I'll say like Laura Loomer DM'd me and congratulated me on the Milo debate. She wasn't giving me dirt or anything yet, but like Laura, so that debate got out to a lot of people. I did have people messaging me to try to like leak dirt on Milo, and that's not Laura Loomer, but other people. But that would be an example of like, it's probably other conservatives that want to see Milo fall that would leak dirt to me, a lefty, knowing that I'd want to report on it, right? That's not like that. That's not that insane. Oh, I had conservatives send me information about Paul Joseph Watson. That N-word clip, the one that I tweeted first, but I gave it a bad title, and then it broke later in some other thing. That N-word audio clip was originally, well, I don't know if I'll say it was originally leaked to me, but I'm pretty sure it was leaked to me before that reporter that wrote the story on it by a conservative person that wanted, because they knew that I would like tweet it out and report on it. It wasn't Lauren. It was actually a lady that emailed me, but yeah. So yeah, it's yeah. He's being 100% contrarian because everyone is on the hate train for Crowder, so his videos on the topic will top the algorithm on YouTube. It's deleted. Oh, I should just ban you. I don't know how to ban you. If you think I'm contrarian, you point out the flaw in my logic, you retarded Well, now you can't because now you're banned, so. This will bolster Crowder's platform. No, this is gonna be pretty rough for. This is gonna be pretty rough for Crowder. Just say 3-minute clips looks bad, but we need more context. You have to say it looks bad over and over. Oh, sure. I mean, it does look bad. I've said that it looks bad. Yeah. Okay, and then what do we got here? One final.
Topic: Steven Crowder. If you aren't aware, Steven Crowder's a right-wing commentator, very popular right now. I think he's shifted to Rumble, not much on YouTube as much, and he's been going through a divorce. Now, why should you care? Honestly, you probably shouldn't. But Steven Crowder, he's been involved in a few different situations recently. Now, the divorce comes after his wife alleges that he was emotionally abusive in the relationship itself. There's a Ring video as well as an article that's came out from a Substack by Yashar. And there's also
kept it private, but people in positions of power knew that this was happening, with him alluding to extortion and threats about exposing that information, then playing a clip of Candace Owens speaking about him. There, she seems to question his Christianity, says that he's going through a lot, says we should pray for him. And then you had Owens uploading a video titled "Steven Crowder accused me of extortion," saying he always paints himself as the victim, saying no one's threatened him or made demands behind closed doors, saying Crowder sent her a flirty Instagram DM on midterm election night that she didn't respond to, saying
really?
that he began his attacks on the Daily Wire, and concluding that the divorce is why he's spiraling and acting erratic. She then sends Crowder a cease and desist, demanding a full retraction, and then invites Crowder's wife on her show. So with all of that, I gotta say, I don't care about that part. Let him fight it out.
That's messy. When your political opponent is basically saying like, yo, wife, come throw some dirt on Crowder.
Crazy, dude.
Foul. But for me, what was the most interesting was the insight that it gave on what he and people like him think should be legal or not, with Crowder very much seemingly not a fan of the law.
My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted. And I still believe that children need a mom and a dad and that divorce is horrible. But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter. In Texas, divorce is permitted when one party wants it, period. And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works. It's no one's fault but my own in that I picked wrong.
So that's how he feels about it. He describes it. He claims that Candace Owens is extorting him, hasn't provided any proof. Kind of a crazy allegation, but whatever. So let's play the video of how Steven Crowder treats his wife.
That's foul. That's go be super. I know you hate the dude, but goddamn.
Because I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary in abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries.
Oh shit! I actually hold on. Am I hearing this right? Oh god, you guys are gonna think I'm dick sucking Crowder so much.
You were not taking boundary.
Damn.
Because I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary in abusive and cruel.
Oh man, I don't like talking about this because you guys are such fucking haters. This line when he says I drew a boundary at abusive and cruel, it does sound like they either were in therapy or they'd made an earlier agreement that in disagreements she's not allowed to call him abusive or cruel, that those are like words that are going to trigger him or set him off. That's what it sounds like when he says I missed that the first time.
Sorry honey, it is the law. If you want to divorce me, you have to fight me in trial by combat. I'll make the rules.
I thought that he was making a reference to like you're being abusive and cruel, but it sounds like he's saying that I drew the line, and that's probably why he gets so triggered later on when she says it and he says watch it. That actually perfectly fits.
I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary in abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries.
You already said it was a possibility. Agree when Jace. Yeah, no, I said it was a possibility, but I didn't hear this line before. I didn't contextualize it that way. Like where I drew the boundary, I didn't hear that.
I have steaks, wood pellets, my grill. I know it's not a reasonable request, but I'll go do it. How about you first? Hillary, how do you respect the man? Yes, how do you man? How do you man? Receive love and respect.
Mind you, this lady is pregnant. Like, not little pregnant. That belly bigger than a motherfucker.
8 months pregnant.
And you're not gonna let her take the car? You wanna let her take the Uber?
Because apparently they only have one car.
And?
Yeah, that's wild, like saying the Uber thing.
And?
It's just like...
What? No. What's your point?
I don't understand why they wouldn't have multiple cars. That's weird.
Yeah, that's really strange. Now, like I said, it could be the case that there's a car in the shop, or it could also be the case that Crowder intentionally only has one car, so she's like restricted to the home. But again, I don't know. I don't know their situation, you know?
I don't care about that.
Maybe there's an explanation. Maybe the car's being repaired, or maybe the car's broken, or maybe they sold it.
You don't have to have two.
Oh, okay, yeah, Abba's bringing it up. Oh, Abba glazing on that Destiny dick. I know you're stealing my takes, motherfucker.
It doesn't matter
because it's during the quarantine. So basically, he's saying like, if you take it, then I can't leave, and she's not specifying when she's gonna come back. I'm trying to listen. Everybody's shitting on him. I'm just trying to
Then your unpregnant ass take the Uber then. Okay?
True.
If she's good enough to take an Uber because she's pregnant, your unpregnant, manly fucking right-wing ass.
Well, Brett, why'd you say right-wing?
Because usually they're more about, gender roles and stuff like that. I'm the man.
That is true. Why couldn't Crowder just Uber?
And I'm the one that's strong. So if you're the man, you're the one that's strong, and she's the one she's gonna run the errands. You're gonna take your manly hands with the Uber.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. The fuck you mean?
Okay.
Pregnant?
Okay.
You a special kind of soft.
How do the man take it? No, you're not taking the car.
Steven,
you're not taking the car.
Steven,
you are not.
Then I will ask someone to pick me up. Would you like me to ask?
Oh, that's right.
It's not correct, Steven.
Give it an Uber.
Okay, dude, I've seen so many abusive relationships, okay? I know everybody thinks, oh, Dustin must have abused people like this. No, I haven't had this, but I've seen a lot of them. This line to me, okay, now again, keep in mind, everything I say is speculation, okay? So I could be wrong, okay? Oh, I want to rewatch this whole video now. Now I'm seeing things that I wasn't noticing before, okay?
You're not taking the car.
Yeah, what is that thread of who should I ask? Let me tell you, NNN, okay? Mr. Virgin Relationship Guy, don't worry, I'll help you sort this one out, okay? I know you are lost here, okay? Let me help you, all right? I know it's not 1,000 days of squatting, okay? It could be the case when he responds that way, okay? Now, I don't know, but it could be the case when he responds that way that she's saying something along the lines of like, oh, you're not gonna let me take the car? Well, I'm gonna call a friend and I'm gonna tell her that you're not letting me leave the house. That, if she's done that in the past, that could be the threat, right? That like, oh, I can't take the car? I'll call Sam and I'll have her pick me up again and tell her that you won't let me go anywhere, right? Now that I don't know, but it could be the case. No, I'm agreeing there's a threat. I didn't mean Ella Hug to be a threat. Curious. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yourself. I thought you were trolling me.
You are not.
Then I will ask someone to pick me up. Would you like me to ask?
Oh, that's right.
It's not a threat, Steven.
Get an Uber.
Okay, Steven, I can't.
I guess.
And that's why he's telling her to take an Uber instead, because it sounds like she's like going to contact a friend that he's like that she's complained about him to before. Maybe, right? Keep in mind, a lot of this is like we're just reading into the ethers. We don't have more information, but it could also be the case that he's just really controlling. But I'm trying to think of why would he say, is that a threat though? I'm trying to think of that, but
I want to pick
Destiny, you're making huge jumps when you preach about waiting till info comes out on other subjects. What I'm telling you is that I'm speculating. I'm being open about it. I'm honest. I am speculating. I don't know, okay? But you guys have all jumped 100% on board with the wife who has selectively released this 3.5-minute video with the worst part apparently cut out at the end, and your brain is completely shut off going, oh, 100% she must be right, and this is like all of these, right? I'm just writing what could be the context of these statements, okay?
Pick me up. Getting an Uber. Why don't you just let somebody go pick her up? She made a compromise. So I don't even understand what's going on right now. Mm-hmm. But again, this is the weird thing. We're seeing a conversation 3 minutes long in the middle of something. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah.
I don't know where the problem
Yeah, that's
starts.
true. Like, what is happening here? Like, what is this stuff about the dog and the medication? And why does she need the car? How long is she taking for? Why does he need the car? What's like? Yeah, we have no idea what's happening. What this fight is even over right now.
Like, off on Steven Crowder because so many people who are different, who are not connected to him or not connected to each other, have alleged that he's very controlling. He has a bad temper. He's very and you know, the stuff that he handled with the Daily Wire was really shady in my opinion. So this is like falling in line with what a lot of people say about him. Yep. I would give him a normal person the benefit of the doubt because he's got such a bad rep online. This should look kind of crazy.
Even with a bad rep, being so fucking adamant about the fucking car, and you're letting her take a Uber, it's like, who raised you?
Yeah, but you don't know the world of context that exists in a long marriage like this.
I understand what you're saying.
Maybe she's not been helpful at all throughout the whole marriage.
Even if she is, she's taking an Uber to do the groceries. That's her action. If she hasn't been helpful, and now she's taking the car.
It sounds like she's gonna leave, and she's not specifying when she's coming back, which might be the issue.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. Like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to go anywhere. Like, if she's going for the groceries, she's gonna be gone for what, like an hour, bro? Like, are you so trapped in the house that you can't leave for an hour? Like, is she leaving all day? That's why it doesn't. It's so weird. Like, what is the context of this? That's why I want more context for this conversation. Like.
At hand here.
I can understand.
So again, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. But to me, what indicts him is the prior. Yeah, exactly.
Feeling some constraints? Steven. Like, I can't go. Listen to me.
Steven.
You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't be home. You're going to take the car and leave me here. Hillary, just think of it.
Why can't he call his friends? Like, what does that mean? Is everything broken at the house? Like, Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made me. Now, that could just be him being abusive or exploitative, right? He might be like, anytime you leave, you're over, so I need to keep you boxed in, right? That could be an abuser tactic. It's truly, it could be. He could be... Wait. Go back to where he says groceries. Oh, I'm just saying, like, what is this him saying, like, I can't call my friends?
Listen to me. You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym.
I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. Okay, that's fine. You have to drive there. I can't call my friends?
I can't call my friends. I can't be home. You're gonna take the car and leave me here.
So, like, what is happening? Because right now it looks like he's just big chilling. He's on his back porch with a dog. I think he's got his socks on, and he's like smoking a cigar or something. What does he need to do? I'm so confused. Like, I wish I had the context for all this. He's still recovering from his heart surgery stuff? Oh, maybe.
Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made me.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back.
Why does she say that? Like her response there, I'll be back when I'm back. What does that mean? Like, everything is so confusing. What do you mean, I'll be back when I'm back? Wait, is it gonna take like an hour or two? Or are you gonna be gone for like 8 hours? Or, everything is so confusing here.
It doesn't work either. Do you understand the difference between my life being set to the second and you going to be back on back?
Steven.
The only way out of this is discipline and respect. It's the only way out of it, or we're at an impasse.
I will say
the only way out of what? Out of what? Out of having one car?
It is a really bad idea to be highly stressing your wife while she's this pregnant. It's bad for the baby and it's bad for your wife's health.
Take an Uber.
It doesn't seem like this is about the car.
No, it's not.
It's not about the car. Clearly not.
It's either about some other shit or control. That's what it is. That's what I see.
Plenty of studies back that up. Like stress actually makes adverse pregnancy outcomes by disrupting blood flow, high blood pressure, having a low birth weight infant, preterm birth. And so you just have to be mindful.
I also, dude, I'm such a Crowder dick suck right now. I could understand Steven Crowder not wanting to take Ubers, right? Like, maybe he's had, because he's kind of famous, maybe. That's a little bit of a stretch. Like, is somebody gonna beat him up in an Uber? Doesn't he conceal carry everywhere? Doesn't he have his stupid fucking straps? Couldn't he fucking have his gun everywhere? But like, maybe, I don't know.
When someone is that pregnant, it's not a good idea to be in these kinds of situations continuously. And from what she described, their marriage has been tenuous like this for a long time.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline or respect. Yeah. There you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easily.
I don't give up, Steven.
You give up so easily. I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Steven, no, we are at an impasse, okay? I love you, but Steven, your abuse is sick. Your abuse
Watch it.
is sick.
Watch it.
And this is the watch it. I drew the boundary at abuse and at abuse and something else. And now she's saying your abuse is sick, and this is when he gets triggered. Watch it, right?
Fucking watch it.
I'm gonna let go. I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. We need to just stop engaging for a little bit, okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you. And
So this could be, from her point of view, saying I love you here could be a manipulator tactic to where you're saying like, oh, well, I'm gonna trigger you and I'm gonna tell you I love you. Or it could be a genuine de-escalation tactic. Like, hey, listen, we're fighting, but I still love you. Like, I don't hate you, okay? I love you. I'm sorry we're fighting, right? It could be either, but we don't know. We have no idea, right? We don't have the context. It could, like, almost everything being said here could mean two completely different things. Him saying I don't love you here is pretty shitty. There are some things you should never say, like, in a fight. Saying, like, I don't love you. You probably should never say that in a fight. There's not gonna be an excuse to that. It's just a really shitty thing to say.
the fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, you just be disciplined about it, you go, no. But I love you more than life itself. Okay. Put on some gloves.
So, like, you see, again, we don't have context for the relationship, but, like, let's say that she does that all the time. That could be, of course, I think everything she says and does is wrong. I'm literally giving you, I'm perma-banning you, you're never coming back. Hold on, actually, I'm gonna look up alts for you, and I'm banning every single alt. I'm literally giving you both sides. Hold on, wait, before I perma-ban you, Nix, are you deaf? Can you not hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Yeah, I'm not banning you. I wanted to, though.
That's not fair. That's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right, we're at an impasse. Become someone that's you did, day in and day out, worthy of a wife, no, not as a wife. I didn't say as a wife. Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll text me what you need. I'll get you.
Hillary, come on now. A wife, no, not as a wife. I didn't say as a.
Hold on, bros. It's something else. I will be the only one correct here. I will shower me in your hatred. I should have watched this video more closely when it first came out. I'm not even noticing. There's like 8-second cuts here too. What's going on here? Look at the timestamp down here. 12:38:03.
Worthy of a wife, no.
We just lost 8 seconds of footage here. Why? How many cuts are in this video? I've never actually even paid attention to that before. We just lost 8 seconds. Why does he say she's unworthy? Like, what if he, for instance, now he could have said like some personal, disgusting things though. You're unworthy because you're a slut whore. And they wanted to cut that because it's unnecessary. Now, I don't know why you wouldn't bleep it. Wait, was that Abba's editing? Wait, hold on. I need to rewatch the original. Hold on. This. Give me the original. Let's watch this. I'm so curious now. Okay. Is there a better site that hosts video than this dog shit fucking laggy piece of shit sub shit?
I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary. No, you just did it.
picture. Oh, thank you, God, Jesus. Okay. It's a ring cam, Destiny. It cuts after a certain time and will start again in motion. I don't believe you. No shot that it was cutting here and this fucking guy. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. That it was cutting at these exact moments and then re-coming back and no way. Okay.
I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary in abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries.
There is no groceries today. I do have
steaks, wood pellets, my grill. I know it's an unreasonable request, but I'll go do it. How about you first?
So like here, that was a massive cut. 12:36:05. How much time did we just cut out?
It's an unreasonable request, but I'll go do it. How about
40 seconds. We just lost 40 seconds. What was going on here?
How about you first? Hillary, how do you respect the man? Yes. How do you man? How do you man receive love and respect? No. How do you man? No, you're not taking the car.
Steven,
You're not taking the car.
Steven,
you are not.
Then I
taking
will
the car.
ask someone to pick me up. Would you like me to ask?
Hold that, right?
It's not a threat, Steven.
Get an Uber.
Okay, Steven,
I have to start watching chat. I'm looking for.
Feeling some constraints?
Steven.
Like, I can't
Steven.
go. Listen to me. You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't.
Oh, hold on. When he says like I can't go to the gym, I can't go to my parents. Is this because of COVID maybe? Is it all closed down and his parents are like sick maybe? Because this footage was this from 2020 or 2021? Oh, I see it. It's right here. I'm sorry. When June of 2021? Were we in like COVID times, lockdown shit and everything? The video is 3 minutes and 28 seconds long, but it starts at 34:58 and it ends at 39:08, which means 4 minutes and 10 seconds was cut out. Oh, I'm sorry. There's not 4 minutes cut. There's 40 seconds cut. My bad.
Be home. You're gonna take the car and leave me here. Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made me.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back. That doesn't work either. Do you understand the difference between my life being set to the second and you going, I'll be back when I'm back?
Steven.
The only way out of it is discipline and respect. It's the only way out of it, or we're at an impasse.
We are at an impasse.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline or respect. There you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easily.
I don't give up, Steven.
Hillary, you give up so easily. I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Steven, no, we are at an impasse, okay? I love you, but Steven, your abuse is sick. Your abuse
Watch it.
is sick.
Watch it. Fucking watch it.
I'm gonna let go. I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. We need to just stop engaging for a little bit, okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you. And the fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, you just be disciplined about it. You go, no. But I love you more than life itself. Okay. Put on some gloves. No. But I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. That's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right. We're at an impasse. Become someone, listen to me, day in and day out, worthy of a wife. No, not as a wife. I didn't say as a wife.
That was the 8-second cut we saw in Abba's video.
Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll get text me what you need. I'll get you what you need. I love you. I'm committed to you.
Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not trying to.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you. I'm committed to you. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things?
Like, and this is something we need to kind of. Why does she not want to walk the dog? Like, what's going on with the dog too? That's something I'm so curious about. Poor doggy.
I'm gonna just
walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication the dogs take? No, you take Betty.
It's not about the dogs.
Glad you're a boundary.
Damn. I think she's overwhelmed, right? Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Damn, this is all so sus. This is some sussy baka shit.
Not as a wife. I didn't say as a wife. Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll get text me what you need. I'll get you what you need. I love you. I'm committed to you.
Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not trying to.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you. I'm committed to it. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves.
I need to
walk the dogs.
Okay, so it sounds like he's demanding from his 8-month pregnant wife to do some labor to prove that she's committed because he feels like she just says stuff and doesn't do it with actions. Apparently she didn't want to walk the dogs because apparently to some degree it could be poisonous towards the child, and he really wanted her to. So those are some of the many problems that they have together.
Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm gonna just
walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication the dogs? Don't you take Betty?
She won't put on the gloves, so why won't he help the dog with medicine? Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's so weird, right? Like, it's just giving dogs medicine. Why can't you do it?
This last statement is, because I didn't hear it, him saying, I will fuck you up, that's obviously something you should never say to your partner. I don't think there's any context that makes that acceptable. But again, you don't hear it on camera, so I can't say too much. I will read a little bit, a couple excerpts from the article itself. They say that she's been spending years hiding her husband's mental and emotional abuse from her family, and that he lied about the circumstances around their divorce, and that he wasn't present for the birth of their children. Nobody's saying that anyone was beaten in this marriage or that there was infidelity. And in audio files and text messages that Yashar received, Steven Crowder admits to some of his faults, which include a volcanic temper, repeatedly and at times regretfully. Apparently, this is one thing that I thought was really interesting. Crowder, in the video you guys saw earlier, complains about the no-fault divorce things. In June 2021, Steven left their home to pursue elective surgery. Hillary urged him to get help he needed to address his behavior with the hope that their marriage could be saved and that they could peacefully live together as a family. Instead, Steven refused to do so and chose to not be with his wife during the birth of their twin children. Hillary was unaware that Steven Crowder had hired a divorce attorney and asked his assistant to cut Hillary off financially. There is significant documentation substantiating these facts.
And I still believe that children need a mom and a dad and that divorce is horrible. But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter. In Texas, divorce is permitted.
Him going out talking about she wants a divorce, but he's been talking to a divorce lawyer and then he'd been cutting her off financially. Those kind of circumstances make things a little bit sus.
Well, but then also, again, we don't know anything, right? It could be the case that she was threatening to divorce him, so then he got a lawyer first. Just because somebody got a lawyer first doesn't mean we don't know where the proceedings start. We have no idea. It could be that he was planning to truly snake the fuck out of her and he hated his kids and blah, blah, blah. That could be the case, but it could also be that they've been talking about divorce and she threatened it and he's like, okay, whatever. And then he hires a lawyer in the background to start protecting his assets. Possibly, right?
Weird. Yes, especially when you say something different publicly. Like
what you claim? You claim like she wanted this because I got money, but you went when she didn't even know about a divorce.
Yeah,
you felt it.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's not something that we should care about because that's from the personal point. What's happening when his wife actually changes nothing in my perception of that guy.
Yeah, it just more so confirms a lot what we already know.
Like a Don King perm, what we already knew. You know what I mean? So I'm not big, especially when you don't expose your wife like that. You don't put your wife out there like that. You know what I mean? You don't put so I'm not, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to do that. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? But then again, it really doesn't change much.
No.
So
I would say this confirms a lot of what I already suspected about him from everything I've heard from everyone else, including people I know personally who've worked for him.
Yep.
I'll say that also is interesting to hear someone complain about the fact that one party can choose to make a divorce.
Only one party can divorce.
I understand people don't want divorces to be taken lightly, but the idea that you would need the consent of the other person in order to set up a divorce, that's stupid. No. Especially not seeing that kind of conversation and what I saw unfold. If that is more of the norm and that dynamic that was presented in the video is true for the entirety of the marriage or most of it, then I would want a scenario where the person who's having to suffer that at 8 months pregnant can file for a divorce if need be. I do think, there should be some measure of couples counseling or things like that people have to go through for an extended period before that's possible. But it shouldn't be mandatory because not everyone's circumstances are the same. And the last thing I would want is for someone to be stuck in a marriage with somebody who beats them, who treats them terribly every single day or whatever the fuck it is. Like, I don't know, it's just weird hearing you say that, especially after finding out that this man was talking to a divorce lawyer. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And that's what makes it seem like he's just doing a bunch of PR bullshit online for his right-wing grift, is because he's just out here pandering like, oh my God, I'm such a good Christian. I don't even believe in divorce, and my wife, in this non-Christ-like manner is able to divorce me without the... It's like, man, shut the fuck up. If you were really talking to the divorce lawyer, man, off yourself. Get the fuck up out of here. That is the most disingenuous PR stunt to control a narrative publicly.
Yeah, but again, we don't know, right?
And that's what Steven does a lot. You saw it when he recorded the phone call with his then friend, or so-called friend, where he recorded the call and then put that shit out to the public to frame him a certain type of way after editing out many parts. I
mean, if you look at the comments, there's a bunch of right wingers that are like, he's weird.
Yeah, and
he's
also
weirdo.
Apparently likes cross-dressing, all this other stuff. I don't really care. But him just accusing people of extorting him, show the proof. Show the proof. You guys love facts and evidence.
Show the facts and evidence.
Yeah. But as far as what I saw in that video, that shit don't look good. But I'll reserve judgment because there may be more context that could make me change my mind. But in a vacuum, that shit don't look nice. And with the context of who this man is, that shit don't look nice.
True.
And so that's probably my overall take.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nah.
Anything else on the floor?
You're not gonna send your wife pregnant to get an Uber?
I got multiple cars.
And you don't even make Crowder money.
I don't make Crowder money.
How this man got one car?
I don't make Crowder
There's
money.
no reason. You should have 3 in his.
That is really weird. The one car thing is really weird.
Environmental. I'm
3.
Bruv, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt.
3.
But in the summer, I got a way out. It doesn't matter.
3.
I'm not that. I remember the number that not. Whatever.
What a wild ride.
What kind of man you looking for, honey?
What a wild ride this is gonna be. Damn, when Crowder starts leaking shit. It's gonna be wild. Crowder made a statement on his Twitter. Yeah, I saw. He said he's gonna start basically leaking shit. So we're gonna see. That's why I said shit is gonna get wild as f. Where do we leave off with the Kai Cenat rape vid? Well, he released that video, but the girl was telling him to release the audio. Now he's saying he doesn't want to release the audio, which is really weird. Now that kind of makes him look even worse than before he'd released the video. The video made him look maybe a little bit better, although you're releasing revenge porn, because it was like, oh, the girl doesn't seem like she's sleeping, maybe she's cognizant. But now when she's saying, well, why don't you release the audio, motherfucker? And he's like, not releasing the audio. Now I think it all just makes him look worse, because now he basically revenge porn somebody. It doesn't even really exonerate him if he hid the audio for kind of a weird reason. Because it was kind of weird too. His reason is like, well, I don't want people to be jerking off to this. Like, bro, we don't need audio to jerk off to a fucking video of you fucking somebody. Well, that's the most retarded reason in the world. And now she's saying release the audio and he won't do it. Now it kind of makes you wonder. Now it makes it maybe even look worse. So yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Dave Landau is spilling all the tea in what I, at least, would call an explosive tell-all interview with Michael Malice. I mean, he is not pulling any punches and has revealed at least his own reasons for why he parted ways with Steven Crowder and is no longer appearing as a co-host on Louder with Crowder. Now, if you're not familiar with Dave Landau, he is a comedian. He was previously on Anthony Camilla's show, and like I mentioned, was on Louder with Crowder as well. But a while ago, he stopped appearing in episodes. And there was never really any statement given as to why, so it left a lot of fans wondering, hey, where's Dave? Where'd Dave go? Is he just on a break? Is he gonna be back? Or is he just done with the show entirely. Well, after Crowder's show went on break, because of the whole DW situation, which we will be addressing more, and the show relaunched, Loud with Crowder relaunched on Rumble, and Dave still was not there, it appeared like, yeah, he was totally done, and it didn't seem like any official reason would ever be given, which, you know, does happen, and that's kind of fine. I mean, outside of the entertainment industry, people change jobs all the time, and it's not necessarily always the case that something salacious or some drama happened. However, if we are to at least believe Dave's side of things, drama was definitely at play here. I do want to say thank you to today's sponsor, Patriot Gold. According to a lot of people, the 2023 financial crisis has begun. According to Bloomberg, for example, the missing...
Bro, I feel like I've heard we're going to enter a recession or some sort of financial crisis for like 2 years. Where is it, fam-a-lambs?
If you haven't seen Dave's interview with Michael, I recommend you check it out yourself just so you get first-hand knowledge of what exactly he said. But among the things he alleged Crowder did while they were working together was, number one, have a light installed in the studio to stop Dave from talking over Crowder too much.
It became a little weird because a light was put in where it was his rant button. It was basically a Dave don't talk button.
So it's like he had a rant button. He's got an actual epic Vosh rant button. Like, I'm doing a rant right now. I'm doing an epic fucking Vosh rant right now. Please do not interrupt me. I need one of these.
Camera, but in your eyesight.
Yes, and
would he be the one pressing the button, or was there a producer pressing the button?
He would press it.
So, like Mr. Burns, like he had a button under his desk or the table, and when it's Steven's turn to talk and Dave needs to shut the F up, he presses this button.
Yes.
And Dave also mentions a specific event where there was some tension over who a guest co-host might be that ended in Crowder literally yelling at him over the phone.
So I just text Steven and said, hey, I just talked to the showrunner. I just want to make sure it's still cool that Matt comes in. And he texted me something back along the lines of, what's done is done. I said, what does that mean? It's your show, which is ironic. That's what he said. And my phone rings, and, you know, I don't want to go...
Okay, I might be crazy. I can be a petty motherfucker. And I guess I deal with a lot of kids in my industry. A lot of this shit talking feels like children, though. Like, if you're gonna come out here and blow your employer up, I'm thinking like, so I work for Steven Crowder. This motherfucker said you work Friday and Saturday for free. I didn't get paid for 20% of my time there, right? Or like, after we'd finished shows, Crowder was in a drunken stupor and would sometimes like hurl racial epithets at us. Okay. Or like I signed a contract saying I get paid this much, and instead he said at the end of the term, oh, if you don't like it, sue me, right? That's what I'm thinking of. But instead, it's like these like leaks are like, well, he's got a button and when he doesn't want us to talk, he pushes a button. And it's really bad. And then one time when we had a guest on his show, he said, what's done is done. It's like, who the fuck cares? Like, it's such weak bullshit. Like, it's so cringe. Like, you all sound like little babies. Like, yeah, people do weird shit on their shows sometimes, but like, this isn't like a big expose tell-all. I don't know.
Greatly into the conversation between us, but it was, he's like, do you still want to be on Loud with Crowder? And I said, not at the moment. And he starts going off on me, and now there's a ton of people in my apartment who can hear it.
Wait, he's literally raising his voice?
He's screaming at me.
Okay, so literally raising his voice, not just being stern, like to the point.
So like, raising his voice? He's literally raising his voice at me. Like, I mean, like, okay. Literally, he's not even being stern. He's actually raising his voice.
Point where it's audible.
It's audible?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's started stern, but then it got into telling me that he owns me, and
in those words.
Yes.
And as that Timcast article mentions, there was also this proposed very strict 5-minute tardy rule where Dave could not be more than 5 minutes late to when he was supposed to show up, lest he not be paid at all or even allowed in the office. And to be clear, there's a difference between a call time and an airtime when you're in something like a podcast. A call time is when you're supposed to show up at the studio or on the set to, get ready and just ensure that you're there with plenty of time before you need to go on. That's very different than the actual time that the podcast will be starting. So to be clear, in this contract, or at least this proposed clause, they were saying that Dave could not be more than 5 minutes late from when they tell him to get there, even if that left him with plenty of time to actually be on the show.
Okay, this is another thing. I think Lauren Chen has worked in real media before, because she's on The Blaze. Okay, bro, I know this from band and shit, okay? Call time is when you're supposed to fucking be there, okay? If we've got a show at 5 and call is at 4:30, your ass better be there at 4:30. I don't want you to waltz in at 4:50 saying, oh no, I'll be ready in time, don't worry. No, fuck you. I want to know at 4:30, everybody's there that's supposed to be there, and then we're gonna go through either a rehearsal, a setup, we're gonna get ready. I don't want people running in at 4:52 with a Starbucks coffee and like, oh shit, hey guys, what are we doing? Like, let me go set up, we'll be good in like 8 minutes, like we're fine. Like, bro, like, yeah, if call time is 4:30, then you are there at 4:30. Well, for a band, it's you're in your seat with your instrument out at 4:30, right? But like, yeah, the idea like, oh, well, as long as you're there in time to start, bullshit. That's not what call time means, motherfucker. It's not a suggested show up time. It's not like, it'd be nice if we be your time. It's, I need you here at this time so that like the production and everybody can be set up ready to go. Not air time. You're not there by air time. You're there by call time. I don't know. That's really strange because she was on the Blaze for a while, I thought, with Glenn Beck. Maybe they didn't do any live shows, but like, damn, bro, what is this? That's such a weird thing for her to say. Like,
And I know a lot of people might say, well, not wanting someone to be late for work, that's not exactly a crazy thing. But First off, 5 minutes is not a lot of leeway. Like, I think you're pretty punctual if you're only 5 minutes late, at least.
She's from California. She's from California. I don't care what her Wikipedia says. I do not care what her Wikipedia says. She was born and raised in Los Angeles. To say some wild shit like that, she must be. She absolutely must be. That's the most Canadian born? Maybe is there like a California in Canada? That is the most Californian shit I've ever heard in my entire life. If you're only 5 minutes late, you're basically like the most on time person. This is such a wild video to me, bro. What the fuck am I listening to?
For work, that's not exactly a crazy thing, but first off, 5 minutes is not a lot of leeway. Like, I think you're pretty punctual if you're only 5 minutes late, at least in my opinion. And the second thing, and I think why this was especially strange, at least to Dave, is that according to Dave, Crowder's team would often change the time that he was supposed to be at the studio, which of course made it hard to be punctual when, you have other work to do for the show, and they're changing the time you're supposed to be there, 7 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever it may be. And I think if you want someone...
Wait, how would it change? Are you doing show prep like day up? I don't know. I feel like Destiny, nobody talking about Crowder right now is doing so in good faith. They all see an opportunity to get into good graces with the many enemies he's made in the right-wing media. They're all looking at the surface material and going, how can I spend this in the worst way possible? That is exactly what's happening. When Crowder, also, by the way, Crowder for trying to go at the Daily Wire because he did it in a stupid way. And he did it apparently with way too many skeletons in his closet. So Crowder himself here, and now his divorce is being dragged out to make fun of him. Nobody gives a about his wife. Nobody gives a about his family, least of all conservatives, okay? All of this shit is being wheeled out now, and now you've got all of these like political slugs / leeches coming out like, oh yeah, did you guys know that Steven Crowder drank sparkling water? And it's like, it's trying to like hop out on like every cringe thing they possibly can. This is and it's so funny too, because this is a conservative, right? These are conservatives that we hear all the time. What do they say? Pick yourself by your bootstraps. Show up to work on time. Have some personal responsibility. Take some goddamn accountability on your life. Do what you can to better your situation. That's the conservative mindset constantly. Don't make excuses. Don't be on food stamps, you fat fuck. Starve. Don't go to get unemployment insurance. Get a job, you lazy fuck. And now it's like, well, if you're only 5 minutes late to work, is it even really that big of a deal? Like, if you miss call time, as long as you're there, like, by air time, it should be okay. And, like, what if your boss is changing your schedule around by a few hours all the time? You might not be able to prepare, right? Like, you sound like the biggest pussy in the fucking world. You have a dream job. You're working in online content creation for political media. You can show up to work on time. What the fuck? I don't know. That's just wild to me. It's just so funny.
Want to be on time, ensure they're on time, it's always a good idea to give them as much heads up as possible. But in any case, the general vibe I got from Dave's account of the time that he was on the show, it seems like Crowder has control issues, to say the least. Specifically, Dave mentioned things like Crowder wanting him to be in studio or like on call, on location, even when Dave had nothing to do at the studio, wasn't filming, wasn't even part of rehearsals. Crowder still wanted him to be physically there for reasons that escape my understanding, but to which Dave attributes to just, literally wanting control over him.
What?
Hello?
Hello, what do you want? I'm streaming.
Oh, okay. Maybe another time then.
Okay, bye.
I stream. Okay.
Why just randomly call me? What do you think is gonna happen? I'm a streamer. I'm always streaming, okay? I'm a workaholic. I don't know why Lav would just call me in the middle of my stream.
He wanted me to be there on more Fridays, and that started being a point of tension because I started making money on the road, and I did say I would be there on more Fridays, but every time I would show up, he wouldn't show up.
Hello, what's up? How you doing today?
About Steven not wanting him to leave Dallas to go on tour, even if it didn't necessarily affect him being on the show. Like, they would have stipulations, or they wanted to have stipulations of how many weekends Dave could be in town versus out of town, even though Dave didn't work weekends.
Can't be gone any more than every third weekend.
No, wait, so let's break this down also. Steven has started touring as a comedian.
Yes.
Steven is no dummy. Steven is very well aware that you and every comic, weekends are when you tour, hit the road, you make the money. So he is very clearly taking that secondary or even primary, possibly at this point, source of income from you. Because
Okay, what were they doing in contract negotiations? If some motherfucker is offering you a contract saying you can't be away for any fucking weekend, why did you sign it? He just seems like a shit boss? No, again. Oh, you guys I don't know how to make you guys understand. One side of the story doesn't mean anything. Like, what's the other side? What's going on here? Why is this comedian guy, apparently, if that's an important thing, why is he signing a contract saying they can't go anywhere on weekends? What are you doing? What's the other side of the story? That's what I want to know. Bitch.
Because you're just going to be sitting in Dallas for no reason.
And throughout the interview, Dave also talks about how basically Steven wanted control or ownership over Dave's comedy special, which Dave had never agreed to give to Steven.
And then the next thing is comedy special releases through Louder with Crowder, because he always felt that he owned my special, because he let me keep the door that night.
Okay.
But I didn't sign anything that said, oh, you're letting me keep the door, so now you own my comedy?
And on top of that, another common theme.
What does it mean when you say keep the door? Like he was filming in their studio or something? Also, if it was produced or sold with Louder with Crowder, why would you not assume that he owns it? Or at the very least has some type of license for it? Like, would that not be a standard assumption? Oh, ticket sales. Is it like being sold as a Louder with Crowder comedy special?
In the interview is also Steven apparently almost being, it seemed, afraid that Dave would be upstaging him, having funnier jokes or getting more attention.
It was just, hey, don't be funnier, don't be, and that's the truth. I mean, it sounds bitter, but I knew it was true because I was pulled aside and I said it, and it was, hey, make sure if you're doing a rant or like you guys are riffing, he gets the last word.
You were told this explicitly?
Yes.
Now, obviously, these allegations don't look good for Steven Crowder. I think having someone who worked with or for you leaving on bad terms, that's never a positive thing if you are an employer. But what makes this whole situation look especially bad for Crowder, honestly, is the previous drama he's had with the Daily Wire. And I'm sure we are all familiar with what I'm talking about. If you're not familiar with it, I did do my own stream addressing the situation. Give that a watch if you haven't seen it. But essentially, during that whole fiasco, Steven Crowder was trying to paint himself as, you know, the morally upright party, the party who's in favor of fairness, or at least fair contracts, and not taking advantage of people, even if you have the power to do so. And if you've seen that stream of mine, you'll know, and I'm not gonna lie, in that particular instance, I definitely wasn't on the Daily Wire side. I've said it before, I don't like how that company does business. That bridge is already burned, so I have no problem talking about it. I mean, I like a lot of their work. I definitely like a lot of their hosts, but to me, that was not a good term sheet. That was, I would even go as far as to say, exploitative. However,
I don't know if these people, is this an act or are they all retarded? I actually don't know. I wish I could talk to one of these people. Like, I can't tell if they are actually fucking retards or if they're all just trying to like clout shark on all the Crowder drama right now. I just can't tell. An exploitative first offer term sheet. Get a fucking pen out and cross some shit off then. Jesus Christ.
just because I don't like the way that the Daily Wire behaved in that situation, that doesn't necessarily mean that Steven Crowder was in the right. And I know that a lot of people who watched that stream came away saying, oh, you're just simping for Crowder, yada, yada, yada. But it's like, in that stream, I explicitly mentioned that Steven Crowder has his own problems, and he is certainly hard to work with. Well, this is a great example of those problems and him being hard to work with. And honestly, I'll go so far as to say, yes, if what Dave is saying is true, then in my opinion, this does make Steven Crowder a hypocrite. I mean, in my opinion, you can't in good faith complain about exploitative contracts while also simultaneously trying to get your co-host to start their own show every week on your network while offering them no extra money, which is something that Dave says Steven did try.
Wait, hold on.
Next thing is he's ready to start his own show by his own Friday show by October 14th. So now I have a show every Friday for no extra money. So I can tour on Fridays.
Let's break this down. So you are going to have your own show, which is a plus.
Yes.
But you're not getting paid a single dime to host your own new show on his network or his platform.
Correct.
From where I'm standing, even if—
Wait, then why would you even agree to do it? So there's so much weird shit going on here. If what that guy's saying is true right there, then why the fuck would you even agree to do that show? Wouldn't you just say, no, I don't want to? He said no one left? Oh, okay.
Only a fraction of the things Dave says about Steven are true, it still paints him as someone who is very hard to work with, very controlling, and someone who, yeah, the rumors about are true, because Steven, I've mentioned this in the stream, he does have a reputation in this industry as being difficult to work with and kind of a diva. And I would say that the fact that Steven has such high turnover for his show, for co-hosts and things like that, it kind of does, in a way, lend credence to the idea that perhaps this man is not the best to work with. You know what, obviously, as someone who's had my own interactions with Steven that didn't end that great, if you guys, again, have seen the stream, you'll know what I'm talking about. I do recognize the fact that perhaps I'm just kind of biased against Crowder here, so I did want to go over some of the points that Crowder's defenders have brought up. Specifically, one of the points of contention that Dave mentions with Michael many times is that when he was appearing on Louder with Crowder, they were supposed to be plugging his tour dates and his show dates because he was actually making quite a bit of money on the road versus just being a co-host, and it's almost like he was part of the package of him being on Crowder was getting that exposure to promote his tour. However, Dave says that after a certain point on the show, he wasn't able to promote his tour dates. He was being told specifically, don't plug your tour. That, or he was only able to plug tour dates that involved Steven because they did tour together for at least a while. Now, I don't watch Louder with Crowder enough to be able to give a statement as to what does or does not happen regularly on the show, but according to fans of Louder with Crowder, perhaps Dave is overestimating the amount that he was stopped from plugging the show. As this person on Twitter explains, Dave, I love you, man. Crowder always seemed like a tough guy to work for, but I watch every day. The claim that he didn't promote your shows just isn't true, man. I always knew where you were. It was mentioned all the time. Sorry you did like that, but that was hard to buy. To which Dave responded, I didn't say he never did, and no, people didn't, and it was a point of tension. And Dave also explained on Twitter saying, I'm only posting this because it's a common response and misunderstood. He promoted my appearances for a long while, no question. It became a daily battle behind the scenes when my new contract was thrust all over my face and chest. And this interview and this whole drama with Michael and Dave, this is something that was discussed on the Timcast episode with Ryan Long. And I did watch that segment on YouTube, and I scrolled through the comments, and there were actually a lot of Crowder fans saying, hey man, Dave, I like you, but your shows were getting plugged a lot. And again, I personally can't speak to how often they were or were not being plugged, but to play devil's advocate here, obviously there are two sides to every story, and maybe in Crowder's mind at least, they were doing their end and promoting his show plenty. Additionally, other people have said things like, hey man, being expected to actually show up for a job you're being paid for and to not be late, that's not really that big of a deal. I don't know why you're complaining, which, hey, I would love to know from you guys. Do you think that the
should have to
things
show up
Dave
on time?
accuses Crowder of, if true, do you think they are that big of a deal? Because obviously what we found out during the whole Daily Wire debacle was that, yeah, people do have different standards of what is and what is not acceptable in a workplace. And I mean, at the end of the day, perhaps this is a situation where no one was necessarily in the wrong, but it's just that these were two people with different work attitudes that didn't mesh well together. Which brings us to another criticism that people have of Dave after seeing this interview, that none of this needed to be public, and him coming forward with it all was actually in pretty bad taste. Case in point, Jeffrey Richardson on Twitter tagged Dave saying, I don't know if this was necessary to do, to which Dave replied, I was denied a face-to-face conversation and I'm not welcome back. I have to say why I left. I don't have the power and reach he has. At the end of the day,
but that's not true either. You can very easily just say, me and Louder Crowder parted ways. We had our time together, but there were differences. We had disagreements over future contracts and plans, and now we've decided to do our own thing. Like, you can just say that and leave. You don't have to be super dramatic about it.
The interview with Michael Malice, Dave makes it very clear that he's not asking people to stop watching Steven's show, and that moving forward, he wishes Steven nothing but the best. But I think a lot of people who are supporting Steven right now in light of this new information may no longer want to do so. And now I don't think it's my place to tell people where they should or should not spend their money. But if you are someone who's part of